And you know, this is kind of a classic dynamic with a new set release. We'll play like one league with a new deck, we'll 4-1, and then we'll just forget about it a lot of the time. And I'm trying to not do that this season. I'm trying to not just like 4-1 with a deck once, forget about it, and just keep moving on. Especially with like how tough the modern format is at the moment. I think maybe it's hacking it the way I have been, which is like trying to play something really new all the time, trying to get really weird, is maybe not as good of a technique as taking a few decks like this and spending a little bit more time tuning them. So I don't know exactly how deep into this we're going to get, but I think I want to spend some time with the decks that I think are good and deserve the extra time working on. So one of those decks, surprisingly, is Jeskai Twin. Not only have we had success with this, we've played against this archetype a good bit, and it's been looking pretty good. We've actually lost 2 different trophies playing against Jeskai Twin, a little bit underrated. I've got an updated version here today. The last time we were playing a little bit of a Flare of Denial package, and I've decided to move away from that a little bit. I think that Flare of Denial is fine, but I will say that Thundertrap Trainer, when you just don't have Flare of Denial, is often kind of weak, and you're already meeting the wizard requirement really well between Tamiyo, Deepway Navigator, and Snapcaster for Flame of Anor. And I wanted to move a little bit more into Consult to dig for the twin combo, into Subtlety, into some more of the 1 mana counter magic. Thinking Spell Pierce is pretty good at the moment with how much Neoform and Tron there is. Spell Pierce pretty good against Karn and the Mana Rocks and Expedition Map and K Command. I ended up going up a land as well compared to the last version. I ended up going into the 3rd Phlage. This is kind of like also like very classic twin where you have your combo game 1, and then in sideboard games you're going to board into like the most grindy, most resilient threat in the format. At one point in time, that was Keranos, God of Storms. Now it's Phlage, Titan of Fire's Fury. So against like Jeskai and Boros and Prowess, you're gonna board out the combo. You're gonna board into be more of a Phlage control deck. I was messing around with Juan a little bit in the 75. Like, I think in theory, Juan is something that makes some sense to have some numbers of, like a nice flash threat you could run out that isn't twinnable, maybe eats a removal spell. The problem I had with Juan was like a threefold. One, we're not playing any like Field of Ruins to power it up. 2, it's not a wizard for Flame of Nor. And 3, the matchups where Juan is really good is also the matchups where the twin combo is quite strong. So I didn't think that it was going to end up adding a lot to the deck. I had one in the sideboard for a little bit, but I'm like, when I the matchups you would board one in. I mean, it's good. It's very good against Jeskai, but it's not like super good against Boros or Prowess or anything like that. So I mean, it wouldn't work in a creativity shell, but yeah, it is an enabler. Did I see the atrocities when me committed against JV Laker squad? I mean, I saw the results, but I mean, in these games where players sit all their starters because they just think they're gonna lose, I'm not very interested in watching. All right, Arid Mesa go. LVC. I can't. Why can't I remember what LVC usually plays? Is it control? Looks like this last build was control over here. Cool build. 4 copies of Suppression Ray. Why couldn't I play these matchups yesterday, man? Yeah, I get the raise. They pitched everything. You can find them off Thundertrap Trainer. You can find them off Narset. I think that makes sense. You probably get to cast them every once in 10 games and feel really smart too. I think we should Spell Pierce so we can crack our clue. Although Spell Pierce is just so good, it's like I wish I could hold on to it forever. Just have this moment to share with Spell Pierce for the rest of my life. If we can steal game 1 and then board out the combo, that'd be great. Obviously, we're super duper ahead. Thankfully, we're able to counter the best card in the format. Is Tamiyo a good card? You know, I remember when they made all those big unbans, you know, Twin, Opal, Green Sun, etc. And they made all those unbans, and then I was streaming a Tamiyo deck, and there were so many people who would just like tune the heck out because of MH3. And they're like, "Wait, why would you play Tamiyo in a deck? Tamiyo in Modern, really?" It's very funny. This Solitude will just let it happen. Okay, they just found that. Let's go and let it go. Just don't want a 3-mana Planeswalker to resolve. Gonna use a Counterspell instead of a Spell Pierce. Maybe should have just flipped the Tamiyo there. I think it's also totally fine not to. Huh, did they just top deck back-to-back Spell Pierce? It kind of seems like that's what just happened. Let's see what the star charts say. In your stars, I see an island and a Deepway Navigator. Are you sure that's what my star chart said? Let's look again. Okay, good. Glad to get that out of the way. This isn't tapped that good for another Navigator. With Snap, Counterspell up. Nice to draw so well. Okay, Solitude, pitch Solitude. So up a game against Control. We're going to be boarding out the Twin combo here. Do you actually think the bolts are pretty good against the Narsets at the very least? So my opponent didn't reveal Kahira. Is it because they're playing Thundertrap Trainer, or is it could they also have Narset? They could have, or sorry, not Narset, Phlage. They could have Phlage. I mean, I think that I'm going to bring in a Ghost Vacuum anyways as my one extra card, and I don't think Consign's particularly good against them. It does hit Scepter. I'm a Flame of Anor deck though, so I don't think I care that much about Scepter. Like I also play like largely at instant speed. I don't even know if Scepter's if they're going to keep it in. Well, if they do keep it in, we've got a Snare. I'm going to obviously keep a healthy land hand on the draw. Nice to have Bolt maybe for Narset. Kind of weak to Teferi overall though. Maybe we can surveil a Pierce or a Counterspell to the top. After consulting the deck list, is there any way a single Archmage's Charm would be better than one of the 3 prismatic? I assume you mean Ending, not Omen. No, I don't. I mean, we have. I think Flame of Anor is just so much better than Archmage's Charm, but I really think I like having the 5 1 mana removal spells as well. But yeah, I would think that it's competing with Flame. It would compete with Flame of Anor, and also like our mana isn't like supporting Archmage's Charm very well. And we played Archmage's Charm recently, and it didn't feel particularly good. So yeah, it's not the biggest Archmage's Charm fan these days. At one point, I was maybe the biggest Archmage's Charm fan in Modern. Game over. Gemstone Caverns is cool. Found a Prismatic Ending too, so they've got 5 cards in their hand. I think I'm holding up my mana here, although it is a little tempting to main phase kick this. It's a long tank. Have you considered Charmstill's Pride? I've stolen a charm with Pride like this week. All right, 2-minute tank here. Any thoughts on Gemstone Caverns? Everworth? You could play Gemstone Caverns in Modern if that's just into this deck or in general. We've played a lot of Gemstone Caverns. It's great when you're on the draw, and it's pretty bad when you're on the play. Those are my thoughts. Sometimes we play Gemstone Caverns in the sideboard decks, just bring it in when we're on the draw. In this deck, in your counterspell, Deepway Navigator, just when you have 2 drops that cost 2 colors, you usually don't want it. After like 3 minutes, they play an island and pass. I think if you have Island Go here, like maybe they just don't have counter magic that often. Yeah. It's like, if you have land go and you have counter magic, I don't know how you're thinking this long. It doesn't make any sense. So maybe they just went to the bathroom, but we got to resolve the consult, which is really nice because they've gotten some 2-for-1s on us this game. Yeah, I think I agree, more likely just AFK. Certainly not full information there. I guess I'll save this because I don't have a... Oh, sorry, I do have an archive still in the deck. Although now jamming here seems fine. I guess I'm gonna get oh, I could just get an island, or sorry, I need another white source. I guess I'll just get Hallowed Fountain, but I didn't need to crack the fetch quite right now. Playing the Teferi. And I don't see a lot of reasons not to minus. Like, they are a Prismatic Ending deck, but I mean, it's gonna be kind of tough for them to get out of this spot anyways. Very weird game overall. And they don't have anything. They go to their second main phase. And they cast a Solitude. Well, let's go to Counterspell Solitude. I guess Blessing Teferi was better against that, if that's all they had, but also, obviously, if that's all they have, then we're thrilled and we're gonna have a hard time losing. Third Teferi in the sideboard already paying some dividends, I guess. 1 main, 2 side right now. What's the worst that could happen? Narset Dazen doing? They didn't have either of those last turn. Or maybe they did and they didn't want to resolve them. They would have to have land Narset Dazen doing. If they had a land, I think I'd give some more credence to countering this, but I think this looks just okay. They have and I also have Prismatic Ending. So they do have the Narset. They reveal Stock Up, which is definitely a nice thing to find here. Throw a Spell Pierce in. Would have worked out pretty poorly this game, but it's kind of interesting. So hopefully they play that Stock Up and I'll just get the Spell Pierce that. Them not doing it's a little sus. You haven't put the Hand-Hider up. I think you just literally never don't cast the Stock Up here, right? Unless you have, so I don't know. Maybe I have given them a strong suspicion to play around Spell Pierce, but I don't think I've really given them that much enough of a reason to just do nothing when you have Teferi in play. I'm just gonna put the Hand-Hider up. You could have had her. I mean, they could have just had double Stock Up. I honestly, like, I just don't know how you ever don't cast Stock Up there. Even if you suspect Spell Pierce is there, I don't know how. I would never ever not cast it. And maybe that's just a skill issue. But if I'm gonna land there, I'm just gonna keep the Hand-Hider up for the game. I think that feels more than fair to me. They reveal a Lorien revealed, flavorful. Oh, sorry, I should have got blue-white. Not the biggest deal. All right, was setting up for this for a turn, bouncing my own Snapcaster Mage. Feels great. Passing back after playing Tamiyo. They know I have the Snapcaster, but I think that they should have cast the Lorien revealed, because now instead of having to snap counterspell the Lorien revealed, I can snap consult the star charts. All right, passing back. The hand is Lorien revealed, 3 mystery cards. One of those mystery cards is a Flooded Strand. Lorien means auto war end of turn. I think they just knew I had the Snapcaster because I bounced it, and they wanted to make me use it first, which did work out. I didn't find another counterspell for the Lorien revealed. I was gonna run the subtlety out anyways. The fact that I get a target for it's definitely nice. I have a Phlage in my hand, so they're dead. Okay. Want to know this league? Well, got a 1-lander. Let's mulligan. I'm gonna put back the second consult. How is Hollow One positioned? I think it's a bit good and unexpected. I think Hollow One is likely quite good. It was one of those decks that we played a little bit with Moonshadow, and we played a lot of Moonshadow shells. It was one of the best Moonshadow shells, I think. I was impressed with it. I am very interested in playing some more of it, and I would be very interested also, if we're going to play some more, in trying to adapt the deck to be a Channeler Bauble deck as well. And so we're sort of like, potentially also, I was thinking Death Shadow is interesting, or maybe Abigail on the Hollow One is interesting, and so that would give Abigail Death Shadow's been good. Maybe Abigail Hollow One would be good, but I don't know that you can fit all these things in. So I was just kind of musing over this last night, I guess, and hopefully can figure it out. Don't see actual Lightning Bolt in Boros all that often. It's kind of interesting. So it seems like I want to Prismatic Ending the Guide of Souls, and then potentially set up to flip a Tamiyo to contain the Ocelot Pride for a little bit, which might involve casting Consult instead of sacking a clue token, so that we can sack 2 clue tokens next turn. Dimir Flash is kind of the new stock for Dimir Midrange. Yeah, I agree. I remember when we played the deck and we cut the frogs, everyone called me crazy. Nobody believed, and now it's replaced the deck, and I feel really proud of that. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to set up for the flip here. Maybe they have a removal spell, but we'll still have the clue token. I'll keep another one. So they got 3 cards in their hand over there. Yeah, I think we hold up the bolt because we want to be able to flip the Tamiyo next turn potentially. Hopefully no Titans in the yard. Oh my gosh. I don't like when this happens. All right, we'll scoop to the free Entomb. All right, so we're gonna cut the combo. Been doing that a lot, but obviously we've been playing against like yesterday was like all combo decks too. All right, we're gonna bring in Phlage, Wrath, Vacuum, and then the number of spell pierce subtlety Teferi is kind of interesting. I have been liking a subtlety more and more against Boros lately, so maybe 1 pierce 0 Teferi for subtlety. Teferi's not awful, but I think I'd rather have a Spell Pierce. I don't think either are particularly good. So we have double Wrath, no white mana. I kind of like if I could maybe just go like Surveil into a land, Snap Flame, maybe Wrath on turn 4. I think we'll keep this. I would mulligan on the draw. Might be able to consult into some white mana. We'll see. There's some white mana. So we'll decide based on what they do this turn if we want to consult or if we want to just run out Snapcaster to set up for Flame. Do the Deepway Navigators +1/+0 stack? Yes, they do. Seems like a Sacred Foundry spot to me. Go, Snapcaster Mage. All right, so let's go ahead and kill the Ajani since we don't want it to flip. And then I wonder how suspicious me blocking with the Snapcaster Mage is going to be. Hopefully not that suspicious. Hope we don't get Blood Mooned. I guess I could have got basic planes this turn. So we're going to take a good bit of damage from the bombardment. My opponent should sack the cat token here. We'll see if they find that now. Yeah, they do find it. So we're down to 13, and we'll be down to 10, then down to 9 after we crack the fetch. But getting a nice 2-for-1 with another Wrath Disguise in the hand for like a rebuild. Feeling pretty good. What matchups is the twin combo good again? Titan, Storm, Eldrazi, Neoform. Just, everything that's not control Boros Prowess, Domain Zoo, which I know is like almost all we've been playing. We did play against Tron round 1. Could maybe sometimes just not kill the bombardment. I think it telegraphs the other Wrath too much. And this is like a really normal dynamic for Twin, or at least it was the same dynamic as in the past, where Twin is really good in like most game 1 situations and is a lot less good in sideboard games. They discard a Pride and a Galvanic Blast. And then they pass the turn. Do I need to Wrath? Probably. Those matchups are all nice matchups already. For what, Twin? Or for what deck? For No, don't Mana Tithe me. Okay, thank you. Obviously not the best use of Wrath, but my life total is just kind of too low, I think. You don't think it's bad versus Boros? You don't think the twin combo is bad against Boros? I think it's abysmal. Okay, I guess we're hoping they play like a Legend of Roku here. We could Spell Pierce. Tough game. Their draw was very good. Have some outs. Wrath, and Phlage. Maybe I'll get to Surveil Phlage at the yard this time. So I found Phlage. So I can go Phlage, kill the cat, go to 7. They dash Ragavan. Alive. Phlage take over the game, hopefully. Don't want to target the Ranger Captain because they sack and I lose. Alt with the 2 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. So they tried to discharge the cat, so I lose to the Dash Ragavan, but thankfully we've got the spell Pierce. So those matches are saying that Jeskai control is good against Eldrazi, Neoform, Titan. It's good against all the linear decks already. I think that that's not true. I think that this deck is like notably much better against Neoform and Eldrazi and Eldrazi and Tron than regular Jeskai is. I think regular Jeskai is very bad against Eldrazi, and this deck is good against it. And Tron has been so popular lately. They flipped Lightning Bolt off Ragavan. Come on, dude. Ugh, fuck. Brutal, man. Was that better? Maybe it was. Pedro, 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Would have played around that. Although I was thinking I could maybe try to find an ability to double spell with the Surveil end of turn. Not sure what gives you the most percentage points overall. Don't see much reason to shock and just tell them I have counterspell. We have a snare in hand. I'm planning on playing an updated build of Dimir Flash tomorrow. Still hammering it out, but it's pretty close. Can do some testing tonight. So if they have a wand, they're pretty likely to respond to my fetchland crack here, which I would not mind. Don't think I want another snare. So what goes super wrong if I cast the Consult? I mean, snare plus one is kind of bad, but I think I gotta cast it. I don't know. I miss the lands. And also it gives me something to flashback with Snapcaster if I miss a land next turn. Alright, let's take. I guess I'm gonna take both fetches, even if this is worse against one. Thankfully they don't play the one here. Love drawing Tamiyo, so I don't have to go to discard. If my opponent goes consult the star charts here, how do we feel about going snap Spell Snare versus just cast Spell Snare? I think I feel okay about it. At least I'll Pierce or Snare up. Yeah, I think I'll do that if they go kick consult here. These games are so fun. I could play these games forever and ever and ever and ever. Can't snare that, just gonna counterspell. Just Pierce. Well, what's nice about going, I mean, obviously I tap out a counterspell, which is a problem, and this wand would have punished me there. But I just get a proactive 2-for-1, and getting a proactive 2-for-1 is so nice in this matchup. You get to start snowballing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Snapcaster end of turn no matter what. So happy to shock and save the last surveil for later. I do have 2 more basics in the deck, so I don't need to be the most worried about the field here. A little bit worried about Cling to Dust, but they probably would have played it a little bit earlier than this if they had it earlier than this. They could have just drawn it, though. Maybe in the last 2 turns would have been a window. Did we ever cast Twin on Snapcaster for value? We have recently, not today, though. So I'm going to target the Consult. And they concede the game. Winning game, oh, they concede the match. Dang, that's a lot of value, baby. We took the right line. Okay, my opponent's kept 7. I'm gonna keep 7 too. Just gonna pull up the hand hider when an opponent takes that long to show up. They might be doing anything else. They lead on a Bloodseed Mire Watery Grave Tamiyo. Pretty interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and get Hallowed Fountain to play around Juan a little bit. Maybe I'm a little too Juan brained. But I think I would like to Prismatic Ending the Tamiyo rather than play my own Tamiyo. Maybe this is worse against a... I mean, it is probably just worse against a frog. They do have a frog. Awkward draw. Any non-combo mirror is always fun. Maybe. Mirrors can be kind of weird. Because a lot of times, like, you know, whoever had the higher quality of draws ends up making away like a bandit. It is card to persist. I haven't updated Demir persist reanimator deck, by the way. Let's go to Grand Grand also. Still not playing Grand Grand. Maybe we should be playing Grand Grand over Tainted Indulgence, though. Someone remind me about that when we get to that deck later today. So if they play another card, we can draw a land and flame the frog. Sort of my plan, I guess. Otherwise, we can maybe try to consult into a land, hit another land, and then ending. They unearth the Grand Grand. So if we draw a land, we can kill the frog. Failed. Graveyard to Splinter Twin. I don't know if I'm leaving. I probably am leaving in the combo here. They don't play that much interaction. We'll see, though. I guess Phlage is kind of good against Grand Grand. My ability to draw lands has been kind of pathetic this game. I guess I drew one. Alright, so I guess we'll try to use Deepway Navigator to block Grand Grand. Welcome to Modern in 2026. Every time I play Necro against Yogg. Oh, that sounds like a really fun matchup. Yeah, I think Necro usually is very fun for the format. I wish Necro was a little bit better. Certainly some diminishing returns on Necro being good in Modern. So let's untap all merfolk we control. They're playing Fatal Push. Maybe we do want to cut the combo. They fly the frog, which I probably wouldn't have done here. Not the biggest deal. Let's see what they hit off the Ragavan. They have Subtlety. So they have to take the flame because I can kill the frog with it. Doesn't take them too long to realize that either. They have their own Tamiyo. So land is a good draw. Not a tap land though. I could snap ending their Tamiyo. I think I like doing that a little bit more than I like playing my own Tamiyo and holding up the snare. And I think I would like to attack with my Navigator. Because I might be able to. I mean, I guess they're going to dash Ragavan and I'll trade for the Snapcaster, but. Oh, they're not going to do that. Okay, then I. Maybe they want to play Ragavan defensively. We'll see. We'll see. Getting a little ahead of myself. They discard a Scalding Tarn. Then they hit me for 4. I'm at 4. I do have a Tamiyo that can block. I did have a Tamiyo that could block. So I need to draw a Flame or Prismatic Ending or Snapcaster. Or Splinter Twin! Let's go! That was the best top deck. I get like one person hyped in the chat. Stream goal. Right. Does seem like, I mean, they are a Fatal Push Thoughtseize deck. I think that's probably bored out the combo, unfortunately. So I'll allow y'all to get unhyped. I'll bring in the Teferis, I'll bring in the Ghost Vacuums, I'll bring in the Phlages. The Phlages do seem good. And then probably just play third Subtlety. Subtlety doesn't seem amazing. Yeah, and then they solve the combo, so they're gonna board for it, and you can cut it out. One Wrath. Yeah, one Wrath could be okay. I don't hate that at all. Let's keep this on the draw. Are you gonna Subtlety a Grandma here? I think with Phlage in hand, probably not. If they have the turn 2 persist, they've got the turn 2 persist, but Subtlety for Frog probably more important. Subtlety Ragavan is gonna be mandatory though. These builds are pretty cool. Just a bunch of good creatures and then persist on Earth, Archon, Oculus. They did put the Ragavan on top. They replay the Ragavan here. And they play a Polluted Delta. Oh, the song came up again. You ever have a song that you heard and you've been thinking of, you can't find it? Sweet Agnes by Masayoshi Tanaka. I just heard it for the first time weeks ago, and then it's been in my head. I couldn't remember the name. You're listening to Sweet Agnes by Masayoshi Tanaka on Twitch.tv. Oh, I guess I'm listening to it. Right, they keep a card on top. Then they crack a fetch land main phase, so they likely have persist and or unearth in their hand. They keep a card on top. And then they attack with the Ragavan. I mean, I don't expect Orcish Bowmaster. I'll keep a land. If I end up counterspelling, which there's a good chance I will because they kept a card on top, then I'll want to be able to fetch another Surveil. There's also like a somewhat high chance they've got a Spell Pierce here. But I think I will fire off the Flame end of turn if they continue to do nothing. Yeah, I think this will probably be a spot for me to fire off the Flame. I think that they kept the Thoughtseize on top. Now we might be getting Spell Pierced, but you know, worse things have happened. We drew 2 lands. I don't think they'll be so gracious as to... Oh wait, they Thoughtseize themselves? No, dude. I didn't realize they were Thoughtseizing themselves. So embarrassing. We'll play it out, but whoops. Yeah, to be fair, Magic Online does not really do a good job of expressing that's what's happening. And we could draw Teferi to be alive, but we're probably going to game 3. Alright, I'll scoop to an Oculus. Yeah, we were just in like great shape. We're gonna flame the Oculus. Is what it is. Right. Love this hand of the play. Like, there's not really like I guess you have to like manually check whenever they Thoughtseize themselves. There's not really a visual cue. I guess I've got a Consult in my hand. I think keeping the 4th land is fine, even if it's an island when we've got Phlage post board. If my opponent plays a frog, I think I would probably lean towards Prismatic Ending and then holding up Snare next turn. Instead, they just do nothing on the first 2 turns. It's always very weird to me when a deck like Dimir Reanimator just does not crack their fetch land. They just don't crack it. They could surveil. If you are a player who does this, could you walk me through when that would happen? or if it's just like, is it just always a brain fart? There's a target indicator on the avatar. Is there? I think you have to hover over it. I don't think on the spell it like really targets it. You have to hover over it, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll look if they cast a Thoughtseize. We'll take a closer look. So they only surveil one time here. Then they play a Tamiyo. Let's go ahead and let that resolve. Scared of Wand. Well, if they were scared of Wand, they should just fetch on their turn or my turn. But maybe that's it. Okay, don't mind this so much since that leaves the consult available. Love drawing this because I could just draw 2 in a turn again. Feel like we're in good shape despite getting got last game by the Thoughtseize self. Yeah, as far as the Thoughtseize yourself thing, like if your opponent goes cast Thoughtseize and then like you reveal your hand because you're a normal person. If your opponent goes cast Thoughtseize and you reveal your hand because you're a normal person, and then they go, oh, I was actually Thoughtseizing myself, you should probably call a judge. Right, they're gonna get to connect with the Ragavan. Maybe we'll get to snare like a frog second main phase. They flip over a Scalding Tarn here. Fun draw. Aren't you supposed to declare a target when you cast a spell? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So if your opponent goes cast Thoughtseize and you reveal your hand and they go, no, I was targeting myself, you call a judge. I guess I'm supposed to go cast the flame here. And then this flips the Tamiyo, but only has it at 2 loyalty. But now if my opponent, if they dash the Ragavan to kill the Tamiyo, then they're not going to get to hit a treasure. Although I thought a subtlety, so maybe I'll be using the subtlety to hit on the Ragavan. Probably should. Yeah, that song is great, Ranger. Glad you took the time. Yeah, this seemed like it worked out pretty good. They put the Ragavan on the bottom. They've got 3 other cards in their hand. They tap blue to cycle and unearth main phase. That seems to bode well for Team Aspiring Spike here. I'm gonna go just main phase kick this, I suppose. I'll take. I guess I'll take the. I guess we'll take Tamiyo plus Mountain. Ranger of Shadow with the tier 1. Thank you so much. Welcome back. So they bottom the Ragavan. They play an Emperor of Bones. There's a subtlety in the graveyard that they could snag. Beat Goldsake first time. Nice. Which deck? Got more music recommendations in general. I if you like weird electronic stuff, I got really into Alloboy last year. Aloboy. He was fantastic. I just love everything he's done and huge fan. Could have sequenced that a little bit better, I guess. There are player target arrows, so I guess the arrow would be targeting here. All right, let's get a 4-1 prediction. Gonna have to mulligan this one on the draw in round 4. All right, let's put back the snare, I guess. Another Dimir deck. Dimir taking over Modern. You know, yesterday was like all Tron and Neoform. Today is all Control decks. Very weird. They don't have double blue up. Might have actually been good to just upkeep the Navigator. How we notice a difference in the decks people played regular league and challenge. It's not the biggest difference right now. One big thing is like Titan is usually a lot more represented in challenges and leagues. Titan's like almost just not in the leagues at all for like a month now. They're hibernating. Maybe a tough game to win. Lucky my opponent gave me the extra mana this turn. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to fight over this. Maybe I am, I don't know. I think it's okay not to. So they missed their land again. So they have 3 spells in their hand, of course. A lot of stuff opened up for them last turn there. I know I could hold Bolt up, but they've got the field, so I think maybe I get to like trick them a little bit here. Seems like I bottomed off the Tamiyo and I just drew another one. So I guess we get rewarded also for waiting on the subtlety a little bit. They put their subtlety on the bottom. Then they main phase consult the star charts. I'll concede to a fatal push, maybe not. We get our Tamiyo trigger in, which is obviously great. They didn't find a fatal push. Maybe they found a Shieldred's Edict. I'm gonna fetch main phase because of 1, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and grab Sacred Foundry since my blue-white surveil land's already accounted for. Cling. I feel like I would surveil here most of the time if I was them. Just save the cling. Not the biggest deal. They have another consult. Consult's been just another quiet, great Edge of Eternity card printed. So my opponent probably has counter magic here. I guess I'm still gonna cast this. I feel like this would be a snap counter for me. Interesting that it wasn't. Anything we can infer about that? I don't know. Any inferers in the chat? Would you ever play Deluge over Consult? I guess I would maybe if I was like a Lotus Field control deck where Lotus Field has more mana usually and less lands. So they're going to want to draw 2. Back it up. So that they can draw a Fatal Push. I would infer maybe they have Bowmaster and Thinking Wish. That's a good guess. So they got 4 cards in their hand now. Can we continue to dodge Fatal Push? Somehow, some way, we have. All right, well, I'm glad we didn't concede earlier. Not that I'm in great shape yet, but now they need to find a Shieldred's Edict to deal with the Tamiyo. They should have 2 of those left in the deck if they're playing something close to what we played or what the like Kaito build is playing. Usually it's 3. They have a Cling to Dust, so I don't think there's much purpose in minusing. We should be scared of another one. Another one's gonna be able to kill the Tamiyo and draw 1,000 cards, and I guess we'll just concede to it if they have it. I played Consult and Lotus Field because I also played Scepter. I think that's interesting, although I do think the tension, there's a lot of tension with Lotus Field and Consult. Can I explain my thought process in casting my turn when I expected to get countered? I don't mind trading it for a counterspell, and if it doesn't get countered, then I'm going to flip the Tamiyo. And they don't have much that they can untap and cast that punish me with, and if they were going to do that, it's not like I have counter magic in my hand anyways. Their deck plays all at instant speed, so in general, you want to be more aggressive on playing stuff on your return when they're tapped lower. Not that they were tapped that low. Well, I mean, I'm gonna try to ultimate Tamiyo. Don't exactly expect this to resolve, but all right, let's go to game 2. So we have beat Dimir. I think, or what was it? Was there a loss this round to Dimir Control? No, we beat them in round 3. We lost to Boros this league. Um, I do really hate these endings. So Consign pitches to Subtlety, stops 1 ETB trigger, stops Subtlety ETB trigger. It's not very good. Could I just play 2 Deepway Navigators? I think that's probably fine. Just trade for a Fatal Push. More Wizards. Blocks Bowmaster. You used to keep in some Deceiver Exarch sometimes, even with no twins. You know, I really didn't see him at the time, but it's funny just how low power level that format, the old twin, seemed compared to now. Is Drown actually pretty good right now? I'd say it's quite bad, because like at least from my evaluations from like this week, there's been so much Neoform and Tron. Drown is awful in both those matchups. Like Drown just a lot of times is a counterspell that doesn't do anything against them. We're on the play against Dimir. Oh, sorry, I meant to be on the draw. Sorry about that. I do choose to be on the draw in the matchup usually. I'm gonna keep though. With the ability to try to consult into land 3. Not a matchup you want to mulligan in very much. Yeah, when you have the navigators on the deck, it's true they still kind of have to respect the combo some. A little bit awkward to draw the Tamiyo this turn. I guess I'll play it. They do have the push. They don't have Counterspell up. They main phase Bowmaster. Don't think we're supposed to Subtlety. Basic Mountain's kind of a funny card here. So they play Scalding Tarn. Unclear if they would have. I guess they would have played the field a lot of the time. They crack their fetch main phase. If they want to counterspell Lightning Bolt, I'm more than happy to let them. Main phase Bowmaster means Kaito. Maybe. I guess it does. So we'll see if they want to play around another Bolt or Phlage here. Oh, sorry. I read this is a 0, not a minus. Right, Kaito's broken. Hopefully draw a red source. Kaito does seem like it's actually like pretty good in this metagame. One thing is I think Bowmasters is bad though, so like if we're cutting Bowmaster, do you keep in Kaito? I don't know. Guess I should not F6. So if they have Subtlety, I guess I'll Subtlety back. If they evoke Subtlety, do I Subtlety back? I was thinking, yeah, I think Snapcaster is better than Bowmaster over Dimir, but I don't think you want to play the full 4. So, can't remember exactly what my 75 looks like, but I think we're gonna play Dimir with Snapcaster tomorrow. It's been pretty solid, and I think there's a lot to like. Bowmaster is like maybe better than Mirror. Maybe it's not. It's maybe a wash. This will probably get countered, but I think it's fine. Spot to just jam. Do this with Tamiyo. I'm a big believer in having Dimir be like completely instant speed. You can play Tamiyo, but like this was like the big thesis driving the deck is how the deck has felt so good when you get to play completely at instant speed. And despite all the doubters initially to that thought, play around one very well. Despite all the doubting to that thought, it's now just become like a tier 1 modern deck, which I think is pretty exciting. And so I'm pretty interested in maintaining that all instant speed dynamic if I can. I'm not like the most opposed to playing like one Kaito or something, but probably maybe a mistake for them to play their land first because now they can't get Revolt for a Fatal Push very easily. We can also play if they're trying to like block to get Fatal Push. We can play Teferi first to play around that some. Yeah, so this is to play around Fatal Push. Still got to attack. Okay, they don't have Fatal Push, which is good news. Kaito's nice with Snapcaster. Yeah, the first Kaito might just be good. I think it's kind of good in the meta game. It's been good against me, so I honestly probably just should be less stubborn about it. Like even like when the rest of your deck is all instant speed, the first Kaito is also so good. They field main phase. Did they find the Fatal Push? I'm not going to play around Snapcaster because I don't think people are on the tech yet. We're going to be playing some Snapcaster Dimir tomorrow. Why did I cut the Thunderchuck Flares? I mean, you can still play them. It's really marginal either way, but I mean, the short answer is I didn't think that they were as good as not playing them. Like the trainers are pretty bad if you don't draw Flare, and the Flares are pretty bad if you don't draw Trainer most of the time. Like they're okay, they're okay, but without them, they're obviously significantly worse, and so you can just kind of mitigate that by not playing them. Thankfully, we've got 4 basics. Don't think we're supposed to run out of subtlety here, although it's possible. Snap split with Bowmasters. Maybe. I just think Bowmasters is not good. Although the thing is, if Bowmasters seems to be like significantly better in the mirror, then all of a sudden, okay, I'm just gonna target my Phlage with the vacuum here, I think. Yeah, if it seems to be like significantly better in the mirror, then that dynamic is obviously different. They didn't escape a clean end of turn. Probably a mistake on their part. There was someone who was asking about Ghost Vacuum versus Lantern, and I just want to highlight that these are the kind of games where Vacuum is just so good compared to Lantern. I wonder if we upped our combo numbers and playing a couple Exarchs and Trainers to find the other half of the combo make them better. It might make them better. I think it would likely make the rest of your deck worse. Not you'd have to test to know for sure, but it doesn't sound like particularly good overall, I guess. All right, so now we are -1 land that they found. Is this the 4th Field of Ruin? No, it's yeah. Wait. Yeah, it's the 3rd. Do I run out of subtlety? I think yes is the answer. So they let that resolve. Do they have their own subtlety? Again, the flare package wasn't bad. It was totally fine to include. Oh, weird that they would use a Very weird they would use a counterspell instead of an edict, right? I guess I'm just gonna chill. We have a degree of inevitability where we will just eventually draw 2 more lands, and then activating the Ghost Vacuum is gonna win. We're at 21 life, and not a super big disparity amongst cards either. Consult's a little weird. I don't think I want to main phase it. I don't even know if I want to cast it at all right now. It's probably okay because if they like tap out for, let's go upkeep kick consult. I guess that's not much different from doing main phase with how much mana they have. They put a delta in their graveyard, but if they have a 1, then we have subtlety for 1 still. We mostly get punished if they have their own consult. But with all my like blue sources fielded, it's just going to be so tough to utilize like my counterspell plus a spell. So they kept their card on top, then they pass, so it's likely another counterspell. I almost can't beat any other card besides exactly counterspell, or like I don't even think you would keep Shieldred's Edict here. We draw another Spell Pierce, maybe the worst card in the deck to draw. Maybe another Ghost Vacuum would be a little worse. It is important to keep eating their graveyard because of top deck Cling to Dusts. Albeit a bit boring. So they have another counterspell in their hand. I think we'll not main phase or anything. The Flame. I think the way the games have gone today, you'd think we're playing like 18 lands. They found the 4th Field of Ruin, which is bad. Although maybe we can find a fetch land and just hold the fetch land until we're ready to pop the Ghost Vacuum. Executive decision to cast the Tamiyo, I guess. I don't think they have 1 in their hand. I hope I'm right. Surprised they don't have a removal spell. Although I guess they wouldn't necessarily need to cast 1 right now. Any lands left in the deck? Yeah, we have like 18 lands left in the deck. Not that much. We have 4, 7, 8. So we have 15 lands left in the deck. Getting close to 50-50 every draw step. And we've had 15 left for like 1,000 draw steps. You think we would have found one, but in 1,000. All right, there we go. Now, again, we're going to not want to crack the fetch because of the Field of Ruin. They found a wand. So let's go Counterspell with the ability to Spell Pierce if they counter back. Oh, they have Snare. Maybe they counter the Subtlety. This is really risky, though, because they could just replay the wand for more than 4. They tap the Field of Ruin. And then they untap the Field of Ruin. Fair enough. They only draw 1 card off the wand. Can't possibly be correct, I think. So let's go ahead and vacuum up our Subtlety. Would Spell Pierce for creature spells be modern playable? Wouldn't suck. right, turn 18 Dispute, very live. I don't know if you would main deck it, at least right now. Oh, Soul Pierce is a great name for that. I already have a Tamiyo vacuumed up, so we don't really care about getting another one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and surveil. Any spell, basically, we want into the graveyard, I guess. And then they're going to Field of Ruin me, grow the wand, and I'm going to get to surveil. Oh, they have another wand? Okay. We're still just so likely to win if we can get this land into play, but they're going to field my Thundering Falls. This is their 4th Field of Ruin. So we have the luxury of trying to surveil a land to the top. This will grow the wand, but it's kind of funny. At this point, cards just don't matter very much. All that really matters is, do I find an untapped land? And I do have 2 more surveils in the deck, so it would be kind of sad to see one of the surveils. We just have... we should be favored to hit here. I mean, I guess I'll target this again, but we already have a 1. Maybe it doesn't seem like it matters a lot. We get to put them to 1 between Phlage, Bowmaster. Not quite 0. All right, there's the untapped land, which we've been playing to for about 9 turns now. We've been playing for this moment for about 9 turns. I don't think I've ever just been so happy to let my, just fetch into wand so many times. Very fun game. Not over necessarily, but just based on how the lists are built, they just can't really beat this many 1/1s when they're at 1. Too bad we can't force them to draw cards with 1 and play while we have double Bowmaster, because we just can't fetch again, but maybe that will come up next turn. I'll keep this 1, and then deal them 3. Deal them 4, deal them 5. I mean, imagine them steal the vacuum with Archmage's Charm here. If you responded to the wand draw, you would have won. Isn't this only at sorcery speed? Yeah, only at sorcery speed. That'll be 5 gifted subs. It is a bit confusing because a lot of these cards say only on your turn. A lot of these say only as a sorcery. I really don't know why. I guess I don't know why there's so many of these effects now, and they're usually different. Oh, they're dead. Or they're dead if they draw the card, and they don't draw the card. I can't consign the Ghost Vacuum trigger because it's an activated ability and not a triggered ability. So they've got their own Bowmaster. Probably target one of mine. Wolperd with the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. So they can't trigger my wand with their fetch land to kill my Bowmaster because they'll die because they're at 1 because they can't correct the fetch. I guess they could have Cling. What do we want to block with? Does it matter much? I don't think it matters much. Guess the Tamiyo is technically a little bit better. So they have to be able to deal with 2 more attackers here. They have 6 cards in their hand. I guess even just a Cling to Dust does it. Ah, damn it. Very, very tough game to lose. Block with Wand. I mean, it's about the same with the Subtlety. This is Vigilance. Can't play an Escape Phlage. All right, 3-2. Tough match, long match. I'm liking Twin. I think Twin is playable. It's been a long time since I felt that way. If you've been waiting for Twin to be playable, now really is the time. Although maybe the Dimir deck is the better deck overall still. I think both can coexist. I'm going to be playing updated Dimir Flash tomorrow, likely with Snapcasters. I just don't think Bowmasters is super good at the moment. Although that might not be true anymore because of...